This is the Spyderco Ronin fixed blade. It's a small self-defense knife from Spyderco, designed by Michael Janich. And it's the fixed blade analog of the Yojimbo and the Yojumbo, and that family of folding knives. To let you know, I received this from Spyderco. It's a review sample, or they send it out as a review knife. I had the pleasure of meeting Michael Janich in person. He's been on the podcast a few times, but I met him in person at Blade Show, and we had a nice conversation for a little while. And man, I hope at this point it didn't seem like I was shamelessly begging for him to send me one of these knives, but I mentioned that I love the Yojimbo so much, which I've already told him before, and but I was giving him the update. I had gotten the Yojumbo and just absolutely loved it. And also letting him know that I'm a daily fixed blade carrier, hint, hint. And he's like, hey, well, he didn't say hey, he just, he said that he'd be interested in my thoughts, and I should, I should be getting one in the mail, and he had one sent to me, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope it wasn't interpreted as shameless angling to get a knife out of him, but really, if you followed this channel at all, you know how much I love Wharncliffe blades. You know how much I'm into sort of tactical and self-defense knives. And you also know I love this Wharncliffe sax shape. And I hear some historians bristling at my term sax, but I'm going to stick by it. I think this is like the modern send up of that old design, with that straight edge and the point dropping straight down to the tip to make a very, very sharp and acute tip. Anyway, so he sent it along to me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, Michael. I think this is a beautiful knife, and I was pretty sure I was going to love it before I got it. I hope you don't think that my relationship to this knife and how it came into my collection will think that it colors how I review this. Not that this is so much a review as it is a close-up video. I just don't really roll the cameras on things I don't like, as you probably know at this point. I gush about everything pretty much that I show videos of. But anyway, so here it is. This is the Ronin, and the first thing that really struck me, the first thing that I really loved immediately, is look at how thin this is. The handle scales are about as thin as the blade, which is, the whole package is quite thin. And to me, that's one of the things that makes a knife EDCable. I carry my, a fixed blade knife, I should say. I carry my fixed blade knives in the waistband, usually around 3 o'clock, squarely on my hip, where I can grab it in reverse grip and tug it out like this. And I've noticed that the thinner, the better. It's summer now, and oftentimes I'll wear a shirt untucked. I find that I carry fixed blade knives the most during the summer and the cooler months too, when I have a sweater or a jacket or something on me all the time. I like to be discreet, even though in my state, you're not supposed to be discreet. You're supposed to carry a fixed blade out in the open, but that just would not go over well where I live in Perrin suburbia here. So I carry it, very discreetly. And this thin profile really, really is a great benefit to this knife. It is BD1 steel. This is my first knife of CTS BD1 steel. It's 1, 2, 3. It's 4 inches long from the handle, but the blade is 1, 2, 3.5 inches long, cutting edge. Very on the nose with how they size this thing. Overall, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7.5, 7 3/4 inches overall. Sorry, I have to do the counting. I don't know why my eye can't skip over in groups of 2, but there you have it. This is a G10 handle, and it is pinned on with Torx head screws. So it looks like you could remove this if you were to get water or oil or viscera underneath there. You could pull that off, clean it, and put it back together. I'm not sure how I have no intentions of doing that, by the way, but I'm not sure how this lanyard tube would affect that. Like when you take apart a paramilitary 2, they crimp the edge of the lanyard tube over the scale, so it becomes more difficult to remove. This looks like it's just a straight tube, so it might just pop off. I don't know, but I don't need to know, and I don't really have any need to pull the scales off. So you have the general profile of the Yojimbo here with this forward hump, this thumb swale here, and of course you've got the hole, the circular hole. Spyderco owns the circle, and so they put it everywhere. It only has bothered me on a couple of knives, like the Tropin. I'm like, you could have skipped the little decorative circle on the Tropin. But here, I think it looks nice, and it's also very evocative of the other larger designs. I mean, of the other more common folding versions of this, the Yojimbo and the Yojumbo. Ergonomics on this, your hand knows immediately where to go. You've got this large multi-finger thumb swale, or finger swale here. So it looks like 2 fingers here, 1 finger there, the rest there. The rest would be 1 if you're human. So it fits kind of like this in the hand, and that thumb fits just right there. That's like the perfect spot. And then this slim little worn cliff is just perfectly nestled in your hands. It's not coming out at all. It's a little more awkward in a sort of saber grip. If you were to use this in this kind of a grip, I'm not exactly sure why you would use it in this grip, but it doesn't feel as good. It doesn't feel as good with these grooves when you come back like this. To me, this is really this grip, and also reverse grip. It feels great in reverse grip. You got perfect place for 2 fingers, single finger there, and then a great pommel for capping with your thumb. So this is a very self-defense oriented knife, as you know. I'm sure you've seen all the videos, and maybe you've seen the explanation on some of Michael Janich's videos, or on the podcast when he came on. I had him explain what the benefit of the straight edge is for self-defense, tactical, that kind of slashing thing. And it's I'm gonna try and illustrate here, but I'm sure I will fail the eloquence he achieves when he describes it. But let's take a look at this is the Fred Perrin Street Bowie. Fred Perrin, another awesome luminary in the self-defense, knife self-defense world. Actually, Fred Perrin was a subject of our conversation when I was talking with Michael Janich at Blade Show. It was cool to hear personal stories about him. But anyway, here's an upswept Bowie shape, and then there's that straight Warncliffe Yojimbo shape. Or also kind of reminds me of, what's it called? The Kiradashi, kind of like a big Kiradashi. Anyway, the point is, this curve in a slashing motion, say you're slashing here, let's get something else in here. Well, no, we'll just use my hand. Say you're slashing my hand here. As with the natural arc of your arm and your hand and your wrist, as you come across this material that you're cutting, that curved upswept blade is going to shy away from the material as you cut through it. It will shear, of course, and it will cut, and there is a benefit to an upsweep depending on how you're striking. And you see that in sabers and in sham shears and stuff like that. That curve can be a huge benefit, but in this kind of situation with the knife close to your hand, because it's small, and with that larger arc of your arm, when you're kind of in gross motor skill set range, because you're all adrenaline up and you're actually taking a swipe at a moving target with a knife, you're going to be prone to doing less delicate kind of movements and such. You're going to be slashing away or stabbing away, and with this upsweep, it's going to glance it'll more glance off the target with the larger arcs of your arm joints, etc. Okay, not sure if that made any sense, but it made sense to me perfectly. So, and here with that straight shape, with that straight edge, as the arc continues, as that arc continues from the joints in your arm, it will keep digging into the target as it moves through, because it's not glancing away, it's going straight. So I guess this might be the medium point between this and, like, say, a downward facing blade that is going to be scooping material in. So this is going to keep biting. That's my best, that's my best reason as to why, or my best way to explain why Michael Janich is a proponent of that straight edge. Plus, that super sharp triangular point is just great for, I know he's a big proponent of that C cut. So you're stabbing in and making it's a comma cut. It's like you're drawing a comma in the flesh. And I've seen videos where he talks about comma cuts into an assailant's thigh to sort of just stop him from moving forward on you. Nasty. They're fun to practice. C cuts, comma cuts are fun to practice in cardboard because it really illustrates out to you how it looks kind of like a bass clef when you're done. But it really illustrates how, with a little flick of the wrist, as you're thrusting and pulling out, not only does it help pull the knife out, but it makes just a nasty, almost conical shaped, if you were to look at it in 3 dimensions, conical shape cut. So there you go. A little bit gross, but that's kind of the reality of these things if you're talking about self-defense. Let me show this off with a couple of other knives. First and most obvious comparisons for size and just etc. Here it is with the Yojumbo. So it's smaller than the Yojumbo in every dimension, including thickness. And then here it is with the Yojimbo 2. Man, what a handsome family that makes. What do you think? I love these damn knives. The Yojumbo is, the Yojimbo, I think, of all of them, is the most elegant in terms of the lines. It's the most elegant expression of this idea, but they are all really awesome. So it's splitting hairs, but I would still say that the Yojimbo 2 is the most elegant expression of the idea behind these knives. Of course, the Yojimbo and the Yojumbo have the awesome compression lock. This is a DLT. I believe this was a DLT exclusive from a few years back. It's got CPM 20 CV and carbon fiber. One of the only few carbon fiber handled knives I have and love. So there it is with those two. It's cousins or brothers. Here it is with the awesome Perrin Street Bowie that I showed you before. Love that. Boy, when I did the video on this, some guy was like, I can't believe you called the smaller version the Street Beat Bowie. It's just the Street Beat. I was like, okay, man. All right. And here it is with a custom, you've seen me with this a lot, custom Dirk Pinkerton Pikal style knife. So double-edged Pikal style knife. And this knife has the best of both worlds. It has that upswept, and then it also has the downswept. And works great in any grip. Well, doesn't work great in this grip, I gotta say. This is, of course, meant for this grip, but you could also turn it around like this. And just as long as you don't put your thumb on the blade there, you're good to go. So that is upswept, straight, downswept. A fine, fine grouping. A couple more, 2 more. Here it is with another common self-defense fixed blade knife, the Rapid Strike by Tops. This one I altered, sort of haphazardly put grooves in the handle, and then I ground off it comes to more of a point, and then there's a pyramid-shaped glass breaker on the end, which I just hated. I love this knife, but I didn't like that the shape of the pommel, because I like to put my thumb there, and it was uncomfortable, so I did that. I wouldn't mind getting another one of these and then reshaping the back. I think I took maybe 1/8 of an inch too much off the back, but whatever. I'm like any excuse to get another knife, right? So there's that. And then lastly, another Tops knife, the really awesome Felony Stop. Daraspina, I think Richard Daraspina designed this one. Double edge, got that nice thumb swale there. That can also be used for trapping in the reverse grip, trapping the limbs of your opponent. If you are cool enough to do that kind of thing when you're all jacked up on adrenaline, or cool enough not to be jacked up on adrenaline when you're in that situation. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Spyderco Ronin. Again, thank you, Michael Janich, for sending this to me. I am in love with it. I love it. The one thing I haven't shown yet, and I almost forgot, is the sheath. Now, the sheath, to me, takes up just a little bit too much acreage. It works very well. And it has this, I really like this clip that Spyderco ships a lot of their sheaths with. But it's a little broad for me, and I also like the more taco style, where it's just folded over and the grommets are on one side. This, of course, is more versatile because you can attach attachments all the way around here. But like I said, just a little bit too much square footage on this one. So I'm going to make a special low profile sheath for myself out of Kydex. I got so much Kydex, and I have so many sheaths I want to build for so many different knives, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I don't really enjoy the process, but maybe for this, so I can carry this more, I will do so. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and have a lovely day.